Antinatalism, the most misunderstood philosophy of our time. And when you look at what is going on in the world right now, you'd realize that it is the most important philosophy of our time. We're talking about creating conscious beings that we could never get consent from, and putting them into a place where they will have a lot of responsibilities. Putting them in a place where they ain't gonna just, chill and just enjoy themselves. No, we're putting them in a place where they will be expected to do certain things. It's already been decided before we put them in that place that they will have to do certain things. If they don't want to do these things, then something is wrong with them. But that's not all. In this place that they're supposed to live in, there's a lot of injustices. I do deal with lots of problems because of that. There's inequality, poverty, racism. They can end up dealing with a lot just because they were born in a wrong race. They can end up dealing with a lot of BS because they were born in a poor family. They can end up dealing with a lot of BS because they were born in the wrong country. This place that I'm talking about, you will be judged for your sexual preference. In this place that I'm talking about, you can be judged and be discriminated against because of your height. Now, some people be like, hey, we don't want you. This person is too short. We don't want these people. You can be judged because of your weight. I remember yesterday I came across a video. You're gonna hate me for laughing. So, okay. So in the caption they wrote that we all have this one friend, right? So this guy brought home this lady, like she's fat. I think I like chubby women actually. I don't know why some people feel like they feel like chubby women are unattractive, but I think they are attractive. Like there's something that I like about chubby women, But I think I like all kinds of women. But yeah. So it's the middle of the night and he's supposed to, take her home. So he tries to close the door, his guys were in this other room, so he tried to close the door before she passes, and they didn't allow him to. They were taking a video, and then they show that guy passing, and then that girl passing, and then they recorded all. It looked funny, it kind of looked staged, but I thought it was funny though. But yeah, guys can say whatever they want to say about you just because society believes that you're overweight. Women can say whatever they want to say about you because, well, they believe that you're short. Like, I don't date guys who are under 5'9". That's the kind of world that we live in. We live in a kind of world where, yeah, people will hate you because you were born in the wrong race. Like, hi, you, the color of your skin, look at you, look at me, we're different. We live in a world where you can be discriminated against because of the class that you belong. Like, we even have like social classes. Like, you don't have access to this because, well, you're poor. You can't date this person because you're poor. We live in a world where people are shallow as fuck. Like, we live in a world where people are shallow, bro. Like, people get judged for stupid things. This is the kind of world that we are putting conscious beings into. And we expect them to be okay with whatever is going on in this world. If they complain, they are weak. If they start asking the right questions, they are weak. If they start saying something about the nonsense that's going on, they are bad. They're going to cause problems. We're talking about a world where people are being told that they must worship some deities, otherwise they're going to go to hell and burn for eternity. This is the kind of world that we're putting sentient beings into. And we don't see anything wrong with that. And we even tell them that, hey, look, you've got to follow these commandments. You gotta believe in this. You gotta pray. You gotta fast. If you don't do that, you gonna end up in hell and banned for eternity. And if you ask them, wait, why did you bring me here again? I mean, that doesn't sound right. You know what I mean? Like, what kind of gamble is that? You're telling me that there is a chance that I can burn for eternity. There's a chance that I can be tortured for eternity. Damn. We're talking about a world where people are confused. Because people are really confused here, man. It's not like people really understand what is going on. People don't understand what is going on. They're confused. And they're suffering. We're looking for answers that we just can't find. People start making shit up because, well, they don't know what the truth is. We're talking about a world where no one knows why it even exists. Right? A world that no one knows why it even exists. You're just there, walking around pretending as if you know what is going on. We're talking about a world where if you really are in a bad situation, no one is going to help you. Say you are sick and you need treatment, but you don't have money. We're talking about a world where, people ain't going to help you. You got to have money. They don't care if you're suffering, you gotta have money. They will only help you if you give them something that they want. We're talking about that kind of world. You're not talking about a kind of world where if you are really in a bad situation, people are going to be like, okay, this person is in a bad situation, let's help them. No, 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 no. We're not talking about that kind of world. We're talking about the kind of world where these sentient beings that I'm talking about can die alone, scared. We're talking about a world where these sentient beings can be alone their whole lives. No one loves them, no one checks up on them. They're just walking around feeling like they're invisible. This is the kind of world that we're talking about. This might even sound like I'm exaggerating. Like if I was telling someone that there's a world where these things are actually going on and that person didn't live in their world, they'll be surprised. Like, what? Like if an alien came and I actually had to explain to that alien what is actually going on here, that alien would be like, I need to get the fuck out of here. We're talking about a world where people unalive one another because they want everyone to believe in the deities that they believe in, that they do not even have proof that these deities exist. This is the kind of world we live in, for real. We live in a kind of world where you can be unalived for what you have, what's yours, what belongs to you. And it seems like there's no real justice, like there's no cosmic justice. You just come here and then if something, like that happens, it happened. It's almost as if you signed up for that kind of experience. Talking about a kind of world where if you said, hey man, I think I'm sick and I don't know, man. I don't know if I just wanna, like be sick until, you know what I mean? Can someone, you're talking about a world where that's not supposed to happen. You're supposed to be sick until until it's all over. It's not like there will be people who will be like, prepare you for what's next, right? You're alone, shivering, you're just scared. You don't know what's next. Talking about a world where you'd have to deal with that alone. Talking about a world where things seem to be upside down. A world where slavery existed. A sentient being owning another sentient being. And that being legal. And it being illegal for that other sentient being that is owned to run away. So it's allowed by law to own another sentient being and tell that sentient being what you want them to do, and they don't have right. We're talking about the world where that used to happen. We're talking about a world where that still happens in a different way. We're talking about a world where sentient beings are tired. People be tired. This is the kind of world we're talking about. We're talking about a world where some people have suffered so much that they just can't take it anymore, and they end up doing the unthinkable because they're just so tired, they're just so fed up. No one is helping them. No exaggeration. This is the kind of world that we're talking about. We're talking about a world where if a man doesn't have money, no love, he's not worth it. It's the kind of world that we're talking about. Talking about kind of world where if a woman is unattractive, well, she ain't worthy of love. You be dating an unattractive woman, niggas gonna be like, what's going on, man? The reason why that guy in the video that I was telling you about was, wanted to close the door before he passed with his mommy is because he knew niggas are gonna wanna say something. He knew that niggas were gonna wanna say something. This is the kind of world that we're bringing conscious being into. And people don't understand those who are saying that's not a good idea. It is not a good idea to bring conscious beings into a world like that. Especially considering the fact that these conscious beings are not asking to be brought here, and we don't know if they actually want to be brought here. We just create them in this realm without knowing if before we created them here they actually wanted to be here and be part of this experience. We don't care. People don't stop and think, hey, what if I do create this conscious being and this conscious being really does not love the experience? What am I going to say? Am I going to, be mad at that conscious being? Because if I'm going to be mad at the conscious being, that would mean I'm not a good person. Why would I be mad at someone that I've brought into a place that they say they do not like? Like, that's possible. I've seen a lot of people who are in very bad situations creating, these conscious beings, expecting them to, enjoy themselves. You didn't say that this person is really in a bad situation. Like, no one would want to be in a situation that they are in. No one would want to walk in their shoes. But they're like, hey, okay, no one wants to walk in my shoes. I understand that, but I can create a conscious being that won't really have a choice. They will have to be with me because, well, they can't like survive on their own. I'll be the one who's taking care of them. So even if the whole world doesn't want to be around me, right? Every person in the world doesn't want to be around you. Like, your situation is so damn messed up that no one wants to visit you, no one wants to talk to you, no one cares about you. But you're like, hey, all that doesn't matter. You're talking about a world where people are not given instructions on how to live their lives. I must say that's a good thing, but they're not really free. It's not like them not being given instructions means that they can live their lives the way that they want to live their lives. They can just, create their own rules and just, live their lives the way that they want to live. No. They're told how to live their lives, but they're not really given like these instructions. Like, okay, when you're born, this is what you gotta do. No, they're actually told that if you don't do this, this is what's gonna happen. If you don't follow this law, this is what's gonna happen. You didn't even agree that you want to follow these laws. It's not like you sign some paper and say, okay, this law makes sense to me. So life itself comes with no instructions. People don't feel like they have a purpose. They don't know what they need to be doing, but they are supposed to follow some laws. They are supposed to be told by other people who don't know much about life what they need to be doing. So life comes with no instructions, but there are people who are more powerful than everyone who kind of like tell people how to live life. And if they don't want to live life the way that they are being told that they must live life it's going to be consequences. This is the kind of world that we're talking about here. Where there is no truth. Where there is no understanding. Where there is no love. People just love themselves. People just want to, enjoy their lives. I mean, it's a good thing that people want to enjoy their lives, but they don't really love others. So they just love how others make them feel. Talking about a world where these sentient beings ain't really becoming better, right? They're not becoming better. They're not learning how to understand one another, how to love one another. It just seems like they are. Because they are being given technology that make them think that we are improving. You must notice that most of us just, we are given these technologies. Not like we now know how to like create this kind of technologies on our own. So that's not evolution, because we're not even using these technologies like to accomplish something good, right? That shows that we've not been evolving. It's like if you give dogs guns and they start shooting at the dogs, because like we're not using technology to actually be better as people. I remember I was watching this other interview between Sam Harris and what's the name of this guy? I always forget his name. He's Russian. He's like the new Joe Rogan of podcast now. I always forget his name, but he's brilliant. Sam Harris was like, he doesn't like Twitter because it allows humans to be their worst selves, right? Like when you go out in public, you don't find humans saying the things that they say on Twitter. Like you meet these people in person, they're not going to be saying these things that they say on Twitter, but when you go on Twitter, like you'll be surprised, the things that they're saying. You go online, people always have problems. Things that they can't say to you in person, they'll be saying these things online. That's not improvement, because we are becoming more and more toxic. It is getting to a point where a lot of people want to stay away from social media because of how toxic it is. They're like, nope. We're talking about a philosophy that says, I don't think bringing people into a world where they will have to deal with that is a good idea. One thing that I've realized about people who don't understand or who don't agree with antinatalism is that they just don't understand it. It's not that they understand it and they don't agree with it, they just don't understand it. That's why some people will say, "Oh, that's evil, that's evil." Yeah, what? Like, if you truly understood antinatalism, you wouldn't think it's evil. You would understand where an antinatalism is actually coming from. I don't know that many people who are really, really happy, man. I don't know that many people are really, really happy. Like, it's something that we are doing wrong as a collective. And we are very ignorant. The only way to live life right is to be able to deeply justify our actions. Not just do things, but then you like be able to deeply justify your actions. Like, here's why I'm doing it, and it makes sense. There must be no contradictions. You must only do things that actually make sense, things that you can justify. But we're not like that. We just do things, you know. And the people who are very rational don't really like living in a world where people can just do things whatever they feel like doing. They just do these things, not looking at how doing these things can affect other people. Like, the more conscious you become, the more you're like, damn, I'd rather be alone. Damn, I'd rather stay at home, not even go out, because it's crazy out there. It's a jungle out there. We're not even taught how to think. We were just taught how to obey, actually. How to obey, not how to think, how to do things right, how to make life work, how to be happy, how to deal with our problems. When you think about school, that's where we're supposed to be taught how to handle problems in life. You know, you might say, no, they did teach us how to handle problem. You know, there's life orientation. You know, they taught us life orientation in South Africa, but they didn't really teach us anything. Like, what they did was not teaching us; it was just you know what it was like. It was like they didn't prepare us for life. It's like they just taught us like the most basic things that we already knew. Like, no, we gotta teach them what they already know, what's on their level, right? We cannot teach them the most important stuff because they're not ready. Like, you're teaching us what we already know. Every child knew what we've been taught. You're like, why are they teaching us this? Like, we know. It's not like they're teaching us something that we do not know. We need to be taught things that we do not know. The things that I know, the things that are really, really important to know, these are the things that I taught myself. These are the things that they were not teaching us at school. You know, you just had to do your own research and start to understand things better and realize that you wasted your time. You wasted your time reading, books that didn't really have like the kind of information that you need to kind of like to be able to survive in this world, to be able to cope in this world. You had to find that information yourself. You know, people will become depressed at some point in life once they realize how things work in the world, and they have to now find the right information that can actually help them cope, because they weren't given the right information. You know, they weren't prepared for this. I did not charge my camera. I've only noticed when I started recording. I didn't charge this camera, yesterday, because normally I charge this camera after recording. So thank you all guys